Good afternoon/evening, everyone. Leadership is not about titles, it's not about power, it's about impact. It's about setting a standard, inspiring action, and leaving things better than you found them. Most of us, at some point, have worked under a leader we didn't respect. Someone who micromanaged, lacked vision, or simply didn't care. And if you haven't, you probably will. It's frustrating, isn't it? Watching someone make the wrong decisions, seeing people undervalued, feeling like the person in charge is more focused on control than on progress. But here's the thing, complaining about bad leadership does nothing. You have two choices: accept the status quo or become the leader you wish you had. Now, let's think about that for a second. What kind of leader do you wish you had? Someone who listens? Then listen. Someone who trusts? Then trust. Someone who challenges you to be better? Then challenge others. Because leadership isn't about waiting for permission. It's about stepping up. It's about being the example. You don't need a title to lead. Leadership is about how you treat people. It's about how you push boundaries, how you ask the questions no one else asks, and how you refuse to settle for mediocrity. You lead by your actions, not your rank. Think about the people you admire the most, the ones who made you believe in yourself when no one else did, the ones who showed you what was possible when you thought it wasn't. What if they had never stepped up? What if they had been too afraid, too hesitant, too comfortable? The world doesn't need more bosses, it needs more visionaries, more people who dare to think differently, more people who lead with courage and conviction, even when no one is watching. And let's be real, leadership isn't easy. There will be resistance. People will doubt you. They'll question your ideas. They might even laugh. But remember this, every great leader faced doubt before they earned respect. If you want to be a leader, stop waiting for someone to give you permission. You already have it. So today, I challenge you, stop waiting, stop complaining, start leading. Too often we confuse leadership with authority. We assume that a higher title, a bigger office, or the ability to give orders automatically makes someone a leader. But leadership isn't about power, it's about influence. It's not about controlling people, it's about inspiring them. True leadership is measured not by how many people follow your orders, but by how many lives you change. You can have all the authority in the world, but if your presence doesn't inspire action, if your words don't challenge people to think bigger, if your vision doesn't create a movement, then you're not leading, you're just occupying a position. Great leaders don't need to demand respect, they earn it. They don't force people to follow, people choose to follow them because of the impact they make. They don't build fear, they build trust. And trust is far more powerful than authority ever will be. If leadership were about authority, then the loudest person in the room would always be the most influential. But look around. History proves otherwise. The greatest leaders didn't rely on force. They relied on conviction, on ideas that mattered, on actions that inspired others to believe in something bigger than themselves. Leadership is about leaving a mark that lasts long after you're gone. It's about making people believe in their own potential. It's about seeing possibilities where others see obstacles. It's about having the courage to take responsibility, not just for success, but for failures too. So if you want to be a leader, don't chase authority, chase impact. Because when you make an impact, authority follows naturally. But when you chase authority, impact is often left behind. What kind of leader do you want to be? One who holds power or one who changes lives? The choice is yours. Leadership isn't about forcing people to follow, it's about making them want to follow. The best leaders don't use fear, manipulation, or authority to get results. They inspire. They lead by example. They make people believe in something bigger than themselves. Control is easy. You can enforce rules, demand obedience, and make decisions that people have to follow. But that's not leadership. That's management at best, dictatorship at worst. True leadership comes when people follow you, not because they have to, but because they want to. Think about it. Who are the people you admire the most? The ones who made you believe in yourself, the ones who pushed you to be better? Were they the ones who controlled you or the ones who inspired you? Inspiration comes from vision. The best leaders paint a picture of what's possible. They ignite a fire in people, showing them what they can achieve. They don't micromanage, they empower. They don't demand loyalty, they earn it. A controlling leader creates followers who only work hard when being watched. An inspiring leader creates people who take initiative, who push limits, who go beyond expectations, not because they were told to, but because they believe in the mission. And so ask yourself, are you trying to control people, or are you leading them towards something greater? Because the best leaders don't just build teams, they build movements. The world is full of people waiting for the right opportunity, waiting for the perfect conditions, waiting for someone else to take the first step. But great leaders don't wait, they act. They see what's missing and build it. They see what's broken and fix it. They see what's possible and make it real. History has never been shaped by people who played it safe. It was shaped by those who challenged the norm, who refused to accept this is how it's always been done. If you want to be a leader, you can't wait for permission. You can't wait for someone to hand you an opportunity. You must create it. Waiting for change is comfortable. It's easy to sit back and hope someone else will fix things. But real leadership isn't about comfort. It's about courage. It's about making tough decisions, taking risks, and stepping into the unknown. Look at any great leader and you'll see a pattern. They didn't wait for circumstances to improve. They improved the circumstances. They didn't complain about problems. They solved them. They didn't wait for the world to change. They changed the world. So ask yourself, are you waiting or are you leading? Because great leaders don't wait for change. They create it. Leadership isn't about how loud you are, how many orders you give, or how much authority you hold. It's about trust. Without trust, there is no loyalty, no commitment, and no real leadership. Only compliance. And compliance is temporary. Trust is what makes people believe in you, follow you, and stand by you, even in uncertainty. Think about it. Would you follow someone you don't trust? Would you give your best effort for a leader who doesn't keep their word, who takes all the credit but never the blame, who says one thing but does another? No one would, because trust isn't just important, it's everything. Trust is built in small moments through consistency, honesty, and integrity. A great leader doesn't need to control people because trust makes control unnecessary. When people trust you, they don't need to be pushed. They'll walk beside you willingly. But here's the catch. Trust takes time to build and seconds to destroy. Break it once, and you may never get it back. That's why great leaders protect trust at all costs. They are transparent, they admit mistakes, they put their team before themselves. They lead not just with words, but with actions that prove they are worthy of trust. So ask yourself, are you leading with trust or are you demanding obedience? Because real leadership isn't about making people follow you, it's about making them believe in you. Leadership isn't built on authority, it's built on trust. You can have the best ideas, the biggest vision, and the sharpest mind, but if people don't trust you, none of it matters. Without trust, there is no loyalty. Without trust, there is no teamwork. Without trust, there is no real leadership. Trust isn't something you demand, it's something you earn. You earn it by being consistent, by being honest, and by putting people before your own ego. A true leader follows through on promises, owns their mistakes, and stands by their team even when things get tough. Some leaders think trust comes from being feared or appearing invincible, but fear fades and perfection is a myth. Real trust comes when people see that you have their best interests at heart, when they know they can rely on you, not just in success, but in failure too. A leader who is trusted can take people to places they never thought possible. A leader without trust, they might have followers, but they'll never have believers. And belief is what turns a group into a movement. So if you want to lead, don't focus on control, focus on trust. Because trust is not just the foundation of leadership, it's the foundation of everything that lasts. The world moves forward because of people who refuse to accept this is how it's always been done. The best leaders, the best thinkers, the best innovators, none of them followed the rule book. They rewrote it. Thinking differently isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a mindset. It's about seeing possibilities where others see obstacles. It's about asking why not when others say that's impossible. It's about challenging the status quo even when it's uncomfortable. Most people follow the crowd. They do what's safe, what's expected, what's easy. But if you want to lead, you can't afford to be like most people. You have to take risks. You have to question outdated ideas. You have to trust your instincts when everyone else doubts you. Of course, thinking differently comes with resistance. People will tell you you're wrong. They'll say your ideas won't work. But every great change in history started with someone who refused to accept limitations. So don't just follow the path, create a new one. Don't just accept the norm, challenge it, because the future doesn't belong to those who play it safe. It belongs to those who think differently. Leadership isn't about how you perform under the spotlight. It's about what happens when you're not there. It's easy to command attention, to give orders, to be the loudest voice in the room, but real leadership isn't about presence. It's about influence. Ask yourself, when you're not around, does your team still push forward? Do they still uphold the standards you set? Do they still believe in the mission, or does everything fall apart without you? Great leaders don't create followers who need constant supervision. They create leaders. People who are empowered, capable, and driven even when no one is watching. If your leadership only works when you're in control, then it's not leadership, it's dependency. The best leaders build systems, mentor others, and instill a sense of purpose so strong that their absence doesn't cause a collapse. It fuels even greater growth. Your true impact isn't seen in the moment, it's seen in the legacy you leave behind. So don't measure your leadership by how much control you have. Measure it by what happens when you're not in the room, because that's where real leadership lives.